The color, Gauntlet Gray. The company, Sherwin. This is Hue Review, so let's review. I'm James, and this is Paint People. This is Hue Review, the show where I aim to review every single paint color on the market, all the major paint companies. Because if I opened it up to everything, I would be here until I was 572. There's a lot of colors. We're gonna explore Gauntlet Gray's vibe, its versatility, and then ultimately, I'm gonna give you my verdict, whether I would use it in my home, and also how I would use it on different projects. We're about to throw down the gauntlet on gray of the Gauntlet variety. So right before we get into this video, I'll give you some other alternatives from different paint companies because maybe you don't regularly use Sherwin-Williams paint. Don't know why you wouldn't because they're pretty good. But these are close alternatives to the competitor brands. They're not going to be spot-on matches. They're just close second places. The only way to get Gauntlet Gray is to just get it in Sherwin-Williams paint. You could try and get it color matched, but it just may not be identical. There will be some subtle differences. So what's the vibe of Gauntlet Gray? What's this color all about? Well, first of all, yeah, it's kind of gray, but gray comes in all shapes and sizes and forms and depths and colorations. It has an earthy brown aspect to it that does make it feel a little closer to a taupe rather than like a slate gray that is a little more cool leaning. It also sometimes can have a slight purple undertone, which can happen when you combine gray, like dark gray and brown and certain lighting conditions. It can give you a little bit of that purple kind of undertone happening, but I always found that to be a very pleasant undertone. Gauntlet Gray is no different. I think it's a color that is pretty popular, but it's also not something that you can maybe use all over the place necessarily. It has a 17 LRV. And if you're not a subscriber and you're new to the channel, welcome. 17 LRV means it reflects 17% of the light that hits it. And that's not a lot. That is quite literally in the bottom 20% of paint colors. The closer it is to zero, the closer it is to just plain old black. Pretty dark, not going to reflect a ton of light back into the space. You don't want to be limited with your paint colors where you paint it with a very specific design in mind and then you change it up next year and now you got to paint everything again. A color's versatility gives you options, it gives you flexibility. Where does Gauntlet Gray rank in terms of interior and exterior versatility? So interior wise, when you're using Gauntlet Gray inside your home, I would give it a mid versatility.
It gets brownie points, or should I say gray-y brownie points? Taupey points?
Because of the fact that it is neutral, which means it's a little desaturated, it's not too polarizing, it has a very toned down feeling to it, and that does give you some options whether you're working it with warmer colors or cooler colors or other neutrals. It has a lot of flexibility in that sense. The thing is though, it's also quite dark. It's going to automatically eliminate it from contention in any areas where you do want some airiness, some lightness, some openness. So that's why I had to take off a few points there. Now on the exterior side of things, Gauntlet Gray is a very high versatility. This is a color that almost seems like it was designed to be used outside. It has a lovely quality to it when used in the outdoor environments because of the fact that it's that taupey sort of classic look. It just has this quality to it that really complements the outdoors. What's awesome is it has that brown aspect, that earthy quality that helps counteract the sun's cool lighting a little bit, so it doesn't end up feeling too blue leaning like some other neutrals can do. And it also has enough depth where it's still going to have some substance and some richness when used outdoors. A lot of the lighter colors that might be better inside end up feeling very blah and washed out outside. But Gauntlet Gray doesn't have that problem. It's really great at holding its own in exterior usage. Okay, so what's the verdict? Gauntlet Gray seems like it's pretty good color, right? Yeah. How would I use it? Where would it fit in the palette pyramid? Is it more of a secondary color? Could you use it as a main color? I would say it's almost always a finishing color for me. Pretty much an accent color in the sense that this is something that I want to stand out a little bit when I use it. I wouldn't put it all over a living area. Maybe I would just have it in one room. You can definitely use it as an accent wall color next to a comparably lighter neutral surrounding it. I think that's a great choice. And then of course, yeah, exterior, there's really a lot you can do. You can have it as a main body color. You can use it as trim. You can use it as a garage door color, even front door if you really want it. There's a lot you can do there. So that's how I'd use it. But would I? Yeah, I would. I think Gauntlet Gray is awesome. And there are so many cases where I really need that rich taupey feeling somewhere. And this is a color that I'll always think of. It's one of my, go-tos, I would say, in this kind of earthy, dark gray category. Huge fan of it. If you're on the fence about it, just take the plunge and get a tester. Before you get a big can of paint, get a really tiny one and just test it out, okay? Please. If you want a color palette containing Gauntlet Gray, tell me in the description down below that you want a Gauntlet Gray palette pyramid, and I will oblige. Okay? Our palette pyramid videos are going quite well. They're essentially our approach to color palettes and how we put them all together. We do offer the service of providing palettes for people if you're interested, if you really, really want an 11 color palette that is extremely versatile. Just check out the description and we'll be able to help you out. And also, help yourself to this video. Got another one right over here. See ya.